song perceived on a more corporate level?
Corporate level, I don't know, except that they saw dollar signs, that I know.
Of course.
And they renewed my contract.
Right.
So, but
was it considered scandalous? Was it looked upon as a breakthrough?
No, there were different people there were different factions who thought it was created for different reasons. A lot of the press felt it was about the Vietnam War, which it was not.
Right.
And it was just a boy-girl thing. You know, don't mess with me or I am going to say goodbye, Charlie, was really the message. And somebody else said it was about the New York subway strike, which was silly. You know, they said, well, everybody's walking. Well, that's not it either. But Lee's songs always brought out those funny little quirky things in people.
Right. Well, let's take a listen to the original song now. It's an absolute classic from January of '66. You went to #1 around the world with this record. You must
Just imagine it without the vocal. Just listen to the track.
Okay, well, here she is, Nancy Sinatra. These boots are made for walking on Radio A-Go-Go.
I don't understand it, but, I mean, it's such a happy, kind of motivating kind of song. I mean,
Yeah.
I just got an email from a woman whose little girl is doing it in her school play, and could she please have the video so she could copy me?
Well, we want to mention, speaking of video, that you have a TV special from 1967, Movin' with Nancy. I know you're very proud of this show, as you should be. It's a phenomenal hour of television. Tell us a little bit about Movin' with Nancy.
Movin' with Nancy began because Royal Crown Cola, the sponsor, gave me some money to produce a TV special.
Right.
And I decided that I didn't want to do the regular, mundane, in-studio special. You know, the variety-type show with the taping and everything.
Which in the mid to late 60s was really the standard.
Yeah. I wanted it on film. So I knew I couldn't afford 35-millimeter film.
Right.
They only gave me like $475,000 or $450,000 or something to do the whole thing. So I did know I wanted to get Jack Haley, because Jack Haley was doing these wonderful documentaries for television, and they were all on film.
Really?
And I felt then, and now I know I was right, I mean, in retrospect, that music could be done that way. Now, this is way before MTV was in existence, but it worked. I mean, I asked Jack if he would produce it. He said, I'll produce it if I can direct it. I said, you got it, and he took it all the way to an Emmy. And, you know, I mean, it was just, the way he did it was brilliant. He is a genius, and...
Well, it's a one-of-a-kind show with some pretty powerful guest stars in it. Who joins you in the special?
Well, it's actually, I think it's one of the only pieces of film left that hasn't been on the market that has my dad and Dean and Sammy.
Wow.
The three guys are in it. They're in it separately. They're not in it as the Rat Pack.
But it also features a great segment with Lee Hazelwood, Some Velvet Morning.
Lee is in it, and David Winters, who was a dancer in the original West Side Story and became a choreographer.
Yeah, did a lot of the beach party films, the choreography, and a lot of other TV specials.
And either Hullabaloo or Shindig, I don't know which one he did.
Right, Hullabaloo.
He did one of those. And also my brother makes a little cameo appearance.
Right.
Plus, my T-Bird is in it, my beautiful 57 T-Bird.
Oh, it's just so classic. And it's coming out both on video and DVD, right?
Right. And we found some behind-the-scenes footage, which we've added to the video and the DVD.
Wow, because I know there's also going to be a television airing, so people will get a sneak peek at Movin' with Nancy. And I think the first showing is Saturday night, May 6th.
That's right.
What do you remember about this special that 30 years later makes it really a moment in your career that you feel made a big difference in the way music video was perceived? What is it that you look at when you see this special and think, I came up with something that now has become the standard? Is there any one part of the show that does?
It's a little frightening to think that we actually created that whole genre, but we did. I mean, I have to accept it now looking at it again, because it was 67 and music videos came in the mid to late 70s.
Yeah, late 70s.
I guess the Monkees did it too, and Jack directed a couple of other specials too that were done the same way, like Herb Alpert's The Beat of the Brass, and he did a show of my brother's too. And
but yours was first.
Mine was first because I called Jack and said, hey, will this work? And he said, you bet it will work.
So what are some of the songs that we'll see in Movin' with Nancy?
To answer the question, I think the most outstanding in my mind, not that it's the best, but it stands out most. In terms of each song is a little gem, and I think Some Velvet Morning is my favorite because it's moody, and it works.
Very surreal.
Works unto itself. The
Fabulous.
balloon one's great too. The Up, Up and Away one is great because we had the dancers on trampolines and stuff. But it was also photographed by a documentary cinematographer who had never done music before.
Well, I know when I've seen the show, I would certainly attest to the fact that it is seamless. It moves from one song or one scene to the next effortlessly.
I'm afraid today that young people looking at it will look at it and say, well, big deal,
No, I think
But you got to remember that it was done so long ago.
Yeah, I think the show really stands up extremely well.
There was another first thing we did, which was a first, where we took the chorus off of Dean's single of Just Bumming Around, and we put my voice on there. And that had never been done before either that I know of.
Right.
And then years and years later, Natalie Cole did it with her dad with Unforgettable.
Well, you were always ahead of your time. Let's listen to one of the best tracks from Moving with Nancy, one of my favorites, Gotta Get Out of This Town, the lead track from the show with Nancy and the T-Bird, right here.
First time.
On
and
American
I think the
Movie
28th,
Classics.
maybe the second time on Nancy.
Okay, so they're showing it again.
When you look at the show and with the T-Bird with Gotta Get Out of This Town, and you see that the T-Bird drives right over the camera, it's because Jack Haley said, let's take that manhole cover off in the street. And Villis, the cinematographer, said, yeah, great. And he got down into the sewer down there with his camera.
Little handheld camera. That's phenomenal. Well, there's a special screening of Moving with Nancy we want to mention at the Museum of TV and Radio in Beverly Hills, and that's going to be Tuesday night, April 25th at 6:30, and I believe that's open to the public.
Yes, it is.
Well, there'll probably be a crowd there, so you want to get there early, 6:30 Tuesday, the 25th. But if you miss it there, we'll all watch it on TV on May 6th. The thing that really strikes me, Nancy, about listening to your music is not only how progressive you were for the era, but how well this music holds up. And I know that you really have been noted and singled out as a major influence on a lot of women in rock music. I know Madonna was quoted as saying you were a major influence on her, Courtney Love as well. But you've met a lot of these women in rock over the last few years since you began touring again. Are you surprised at how they tell you what a great influence you've been on their music?
No, not really. It's the way I would be if I ran into one of my idols, like Brigitte Bardot or somebody, I would do the same thing. Some of these girls, they just, like Kim Deal of the Breeders, she just threw her arms around me. We were in New York, backstage at the Limelight, and she had been to the show, and she started to sob, and she said, oh, I just love you. You're the whole reason I got into music. And I mean, she overwhelmed me, she really did, because that was a surprise. I mean, nobody's ever said, you are the reason that I started a career. That's pretty important stuff.
But your music had incredible production values. Your vocals were very, very passionate. You really felt committed to the musical persona, which is how I always think of it, that you were presenting in the 60s. Do you feel connected to that same persona today when you perform these songs in your show?
I feel more connected today than I did then. Then I was just getting into it and just learning how to do it, and now it's much more a part of me. The passion, as you put it, or the color, I guess. Again, I have to credit not just Lee, because we did other songs, by other writers as well.
Right, of course.
But it's Billy, it's the engineering. It's the way Lee produced.
Right. And you worked with the top session musicians in
absolutely
the country.
The musicians, I was just getting to that, were really the key, because when you perform the same songs but with different players as the years go by, you can tell how important the musicians were initially. And we had the Wrecking Crew. I mean, there was nobody better, really. Plus, we had the best horn section and reed sections, and I mean, we always pulled in an extra guitar player, or just gave it more color.
Well, you definitely had a signature sound, which is absolutely still intact in your live show. And fortunately, for our listeners that want to catch the Nancy Sinatra live show, you're going to have a concert coming up next weekend at the